and cut greenhouse gases. Electricity retailers will be forced to hit emissions targets and buy power that can be delivered on demand. But it lets the market determine the cheapest form of generation.
We've got to get out of the subsidy business.
But some in the National Party are calling for subsidies for new coal power plants.
On energy policy and energy prices, we have a divided and dysfunctional government.
The Greens want an inquiry into energy company profiteering.
It's time to admit that privatisation and deregulation of the electricity sector hasn't worked.
The competition watchdog has already conducted an inquiry into energy prices, and the results will be released this week. And the Prime Minister says there'll be one simple measure of the success of his energy guarantee:
lower prices.
The states are yet to agree to his energy fix. Chris Ullman, NBN News.
Australian authorities are working with Brazil as police prepare to charge Mario Santoro with murder. The Brazilian has hired a team of high-profile lawyers after he was arrested in Rio over the death of Cecilia Haddad in Sydney.
On the run no more, and now a second night behind bars. Marcelo Mario Santoro arrested and detained in Rio de Janeiro over the Sydney murder of Cecilia Haddad, the woman he used to love. As his son faces years behind bars, this morning Santoro's father relaxed outside his beachfront home on Brazil's famous Copacabana Strip.
Is this a shock for the family?
The family is understood to have hired some expensive legal heavy hitters to help their son's case.
Have you spoken to him at all?
Lawyers have met with Santoro, so too his mother, who paid her son a visit after his first night locked up.
Have you visited with Marcelo?
Santoro is yet to be transferred to a prison. For now, he's in the cells of the Homicide Division, where he has faced hours of questioning. Detectives are trying to get him to confess. In the coming days, he may apply for bail while he awaits his appearance in a Brazilian court. It could be 2 years before he faces a judge and jury.
From Sydney, here to Rio. This is a crime which has spanned 2 continents. And now that Marcelo Santoro has been caught, Brazilian police will continue to build their case against him. No doubt bolstered when New South Wales detectives arrive here with all of that physical evidence from months of investigations.
We'll work closely with other authorities to ensure that the right outcome is achieved.
City rail drivers are facing life or death moments on far too regular basis because of selfish people messing around on platforms and tracks. And if drivers can't stop in time, they have to live with the consequences of what they've seen.
Early afternoon at Berala Station, stumbling across the platform, the man in the hoodie takes wobbly step after wobbly step. Little does he know he's moments away from potential disaster. This is the view from the cabin of an approaching train. Staggering across the platform, the man takes one step too many. From the cabin of an approaching train. Staggering across the platform, the man takes one step too many, and over he goes. Back on board the train, the driver can't see what's around the corner.
Your stomach drops, and you're not sure, what's going to happen.
Another passenger wanders up onto the platform and sees the man struggling to get off the tracks. Rushing over, he drags him from the path of the 400-ton train. The driver also slamming on his emergency brakes. A near miss in every sense.
Your heart stops, you might say a few expletives under your breath, and then you're waiting for that impact.
The boss of Sydney Trains, Howard Collins, was a driver himself and knows just how tough seeing people on the tracks can be.
There's nothing you can do about it. You can't steer away like a car. You're doing all you can.
The poor driver, to see what they have to go through as some drunk falls onto the tracks. It's just horrific in every sense.
Even with the emergency brake, it takes about a kilometre for a train at full speed to come to a complete stop. Luckily, at Berala, it was slowing down as it was entering the platform, but more often than not, people on the tracks aren't that lucky. Just 3 months ago, train driver Douglas Kerr couldn't stop in time.
One of the hardest days, I guess, of your life, really. It's not something anyone wants to experience.
So the message is simple. Think of drivers and stay off the tracks. Chris O'Keefe, NBN News.
8 drinks in just 40 minutes. Police and the Liquor Authority have come down hard on a late-night Korean bar in Sydney's CBD for serving 2 women an obscene amount of alcohol. Worse, staff then dumped the unconscious friends on the footpath, the whole episode recorded on security cameras.
Drunk beyond belief, then dumped like a rag doll. 2 friends dragged barely conscious from Korean bar Gangnam Station less than an hour after they walked in. Are you responsible when you serve alcohol here? Their poison of choice, peach-flavoured soju, a traditional Korean spirit. Over 40 minutes, the 2 women threw back 8 shots each, leaving them visibly intoxicated. Struggling to stay upright, one couldn't even hold up her head, but still they continued being served.
This is an example of bad, atrocious behaviour.
Eventually, both women pass out on the floor. As staff members struggle to drag one up the stairs, her friend writhes around helplessly outside.
What aggravates that is that the venue then saw fit to carry these patrons, one vomiting on the way and then dump them on the footpath.
One slumped against a tree on Liverpool Street. It wasn't until patrolling police arrived that an ambulance was finally called. After being brought here to Sydney Hospital, the women recovered fine, but they are incredibly lucky. After consuming that much alcohol in such a short period of time, their blood alcohol level would have been close to 7 times the legal limits. The venue has been fined $2,200 for breaching liquor laws. It's also been ordered to wind back its closing time from 2 a.m. to midnight and will need to hire a security guard trained in responsible service of alcohol.
They'll also now be a high-risk venue. They'll have to pay additional loadings, thousands of dollars in loadings, because Liquor and Gaming New South Wales will be intensively monitoring the venues.
You got fined for serving too much alcohol to 2 women? Alcohol.
They'll also now be a high-risk venue. They'll have to pay additional loadings, thousands of dollars in loadings, because Liquor and Gaming New South Wales will be intensively monitoring the venues.
You got fined for serving too much alcohol to 2 women? Strike 1 for Gangnam Station, 2 more and they're out.
3 strikes and you can lose your licence, you can lose your ability to be involved in the industry.
Sophie Walsh, NBN News.
Gavin Morris is back after a well-earned break, and Gav, another icy cold night is settling in this evening.
Oh yes, the night's very chilly at the moment after all of that unseasonal warmth last week. Now this cold weather has settled in, more very cold nights, frosty starts, a little bit of morning fog about inland. Along the coast, the wind's trying to switch around to the south, so we're going to see some showers pushing around Port Stephens, Seal Rocks, up the mid-north coast, and then elsewhere along the coast as we move towards the evening. But I've got all of your local details headed your way a little later in the bulletin.
Thanks, Gav. Ahead in the news, a British woman dies after being exposed to a nerve agent.
And hundreds brave a chilly Melbourne morning, bearing all for art.
Mid-year sale is on now with 50% off SCA single sheet skin seat covers, just $28.98 each, plus 25% off the armour all detailing and accessories range, and 25% off car audio speakers.
Hipsters. Yeah, you're even smarter with your money now. So take out APIA home insurance plus car insurance, and you'll get 10% off both. It's time to switch to APIA.
In 2017, over 400,000 new jobs were created. That's more than 1,100 a day. So if you're a small to medium business owner who's wondering about the next step or has changing business needs, there are government initiatives to help you hire, including financial incentives of up to $10,000 to employ eligible staff. If you're ready to get your business growing, go to jobs.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
I suffered from back pain, knee pain, my shins, my heels, everything. My back started hurting because my hips weren't aligned, everything about my gait was messed up.
It can start at your feet and cause problems with your hips and your knees, and just because it's not all aligned. I didn't even know the arch supports existed until I got them, and I was like, where were these all my life?
See if they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at Good Feet Store, Qatar.
Month-long order
Villas, an over 55s community minutes from the shores of Lake Macquarie, offering 2 and 3 bedroom, single-level, independent living villas, all with easy access. Villas are selling fast. Secure yours now. Visit marmonwaters.com.au.